Welcome back to day 2, where we're going to be digitizing this logo we created yesterday in Adobe Illustrator to use with our fast clamp systems. Let's do this. Okay, so yesterday we created this design in Adobe Illustrator. We went through all the elements on it. We thickened up elements that needed to be thickened up because they were going to be too thin for embroidery. Like I think it was in the light bulb, it was just underneath a mil, and I know these little squeegee lines over here, they were also just below a millimeter, and we needed to thicken them up, and that is just going to give us a better embroidery. So what we're going to be doing today with this file is digitizing it. Now digitizing it is where we take it into a specific program or programs, and we turn it into a stitch file that the embroidery machines can understand. So I'm going to be using a program called DesignShop Pro. It's where I convert my files into a stitch file. I know there's a lot of Wilcom users out there. I watch a lot of Wilcom tutorials, so the tools are kind of the same, so you should be able to, if you are a Wilcom user, you should be able to understand the difference between the two or figure them out. So let's get started. Get the file into our DesignShop Pro and get cracking. Okay, so I've got my DesignShop open. I've got a new file all ready to go here. The only thing I need to do is add our center guide. So I'm going to click on this little button over here, Design Origin, and you can see it's created this vertical red and horizontal red line over there. So that gives me my center point over here. If you haven't got your grid up, it's really simple. Just click Show Grid and it'll pop up. So let's get our design inserted into our artboard. So I'm going to click over here and insert the file, which is our, just select all graphics, which is our vector file we created in Illustrator. And first things first, let's delete this gray background. So I'm simply going to click on it and delete it. We don't need that gray background. That gray background was simply because we wanted to try to work out a color scheme. The next thing I would like to do is just center our design. I can see it slightly off to the left, and we want to bring it into the right a bit, and we just click on center design, and there we go, it's centered. Now the three main tools that I'm going to be using are these tools over here, and then possibly the fourth tool is the insert trim. So the first one is the walk stitch. So basically what this does, it creates a single line. So if I just click and click, you'll see it's just a single line it creates, like a walk stitch. This next tool we're going to create here is a single line stitch. So it's like a set column width. So if I just click and click, you'll see it's a slightly thicker line. And if I actually zoom into these two here, you can see one's just an absolute flat line, and this one's got actual stitches going vertically up and down, up and down, up and down. Then the next tool is this custom column width. So if I select that one, and similarly, the best way I'm going to actually do it over, well, I'll just do it underneath here, so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm actually doing. So I'm going to go top, bottom, and I'm going to go slightly wider, top, bottom. So you see what I'm basically doing, I'm following these stitches over here. So I'm just going to hit enter. I'm following these stitches over here. I'm going top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. But over here I started off thin and I'm able to go thicker. Whereas with this set column width at the top over here, the whole stitch line can only be a set size. So at this moment it's 2. If we take it up, you see the whole thing expands. Whereas with this one here, we can adjust sizes as and when we want. So you can see if I drag that there, it can create a thicker. I can move the stitch slightly more in a different angle and go even bigger again. Whereas this one here, it's pretty, if I even put another point there, you can see I'm just changing the angle of it. I'm not really changing the column width. So those are the three main tools that we're going to be using here: your walk stitch, your your set column width, and then your custom column width. Now the three similarities between the two. And so if I left click and left click, you see it creates a straight line. So you can see those little triangles, that's creating a straight line. If I right click, it creates a circle. Now if I just drag my mouse up or down, you can see it starts to create an arc. So if I click it again, you can see it bends, right? So that is left click, right click. So when you click your left click, you'll get your triangle. When you right click, you'll get your circle. And if I just hit enter, you can see it creates a your straights and your curves. Now that's the same through all of these three tools that we'll be using. So left click, right click, those are your basics of your tool. So let's zoom into our design. Okay, we are going to start in the center of this design right here. So first things first, I'm going to get my walk tool and I'm going to do a quick underlay. So I'm going to walk in from my right to my left. So you can see my triangles. I'm right clicking. I'm just going to change the color of our thread. So I'm just selecting our thread there. Just going to make it black for now so we can actually see what we're doing. Okay. So there's our walk stitch. From a walk stitch, I am going to get our custom column width, because I'm going to start off small over here, small, and I'm going to go wide. So wide there to wide there, to create that tapered effect that we basically want for those endpoints there, there, and there. Okay, so you can see it goes, how it starts off thin, goes wider, and then thin again. Now we can just redraw that if we wanted to, but I'm just going to select both of those by holding Control. I'm going to copy them, or you can go edit up here, copy, and then obviously just paste. So I'm just going to make sure that I select after my number 62, and I'm going to paste. And you see it has pasted it underneath it. While it's still highlighted there, I'm going to hold Alt and I'm going to drag it down. And now you can see we've got the two of our shapes there. I'm going to create this bottom section over here now. So I'm going to get my walking stitch, making sure my line is underneath number 64, so the sequence flows. The embroidery sequence flows. So you can see I'm going to go walk stitch, and then I'm going to create this tapered effect with the custom columns width again. Select there, and then just taper it in there. Right, okay, so now you can see these lines going over here, these lines going at an angle. We don't want those lines. Those are what you call jump stitches. You can leave them on, but it creates like a bit of a messy embroidery. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select that element there, because I know that it goes from here onto my running stitch underneath there. So basically I'm going to select my number 62, that column, and I'm going to insert a trim, and you'll see that line will disappear. So that line is gone. Likewise for this one here, select it, insert a trim, gone. Okay, so if I just turn on this 3D view, you can kind of get an idea of, there we go. So it's nice tapered ends, looks like a pill. There we go. Okay, so the next little element that we're going to start with is the inside of this light bulb here. So let's select a different color. I'm going to select, let's just select this red color so we can really see where we're digitizing. Okay, start off with the stitch walk. I'm going to start over here. Okay, so I'm going to click, I am going to curve, and I'm going to stop right there. Okay, now if you need to swap what side you start your stitch at, you can see this little circle here means that's my start point, that little X there means that's my end point. So if I want to switch that around, I'm going to put my X over here and my start over there. So I'm going to start from that side, and I'm going to end on my right hand side. I'm going to select my single line input method. Now I know it's not going to be 2 mils, so up here where it says 2, I'm going to take that down. I'm going to take it down to about 1.2, and we can start here. I'm going to select there, curve it here, and put my endpoint there. So you can see that's created a nice little arc design there. From here I'm going to just start over here. So I'm going to get my starting point here. I'm going to curve there, curve here, take that one back a little bit, put it over here about, just keep on going. So curve, 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 and that's obviously your endpoint there. So you can see that it's following sort of the same shape as the circle that we've got. Now I don't want my endpoint to be over here, so I'm just going to take my endpoint from there and I'm going to plop it right there. So you can see it's going to start here, but it's going to work its way around, and then it's going to come back to here and finish off over there. I'm going to continue my line from here and continue out down here. Now you can see that I haven't followed it exactly over here. Now the reason why I haven't followed it exactly around there is I'm trying to give this area here enough space so that we don't create a hole in the fabric, because you can imagine it's really going to get hammered on this inside edge over here. So I'm just trying to widen that out even more, what I talked about yesterday when we were actually designing it, just to make sure that we're not going to affect that that area in the middle there and make a hole. So I've ended over here. I'm going to get my walk stitch. I'm actually going to do a walk all the way around here. I'm going to walk all the way up here, and yeah, this will start over here. So I'm going to start there. I'm going to just get my set column width tool, and I'm going around, and stopping right there. Okay, so you can see I've gone all the way around. That's cool. And my start stop is in the same place. I'm going to get my set column width again, and I'm just going to follow this back down into this area here. Let's just zoom out slightly, and you can see, so we've created that little element section there, which is great. Okay, so the only other thing to do here is we actually haven't got any underlay underneath these stitches. So in order for these stitches to stay on top of the fabric, not sink too far into them, I'm going to put an underlay underneath those ones. On this section here in the middle over here, we manually created one, but on these bits here we haven't actually got any underlays. So I'm going to go over to here where my properties bar is. I'm going to right click and click on properties, and it comes with all these settings over here. Over here it says underlay. Okay, primary underlay I'm going to set as center walk. I don't want the stitch length to be about 2 mils. That's going to be too thick. I'm going to take it down to about 1.5. Yeah, I'll take it down to 1.5, so it still follows the curve quite nicely, and I'll keep the stitches above the fabric, which is exactly what we want. Okay, so after number 75 here, I'm going to get my walk stitch in, and I'm going to go back around, take it to my center point here. Okay, let's have a look at this. Okay, we can probably create this with our set column width again. So if I just start here, I'm going to hold Alt to make sure I get a nice straight line. I'm going to start curving, right, make another straight point there, come to here, start curving, right, come to there, I'm going to curve it, to there, whereabouts, about there, yeah, let's curve it, create a straight point, bring it all the way down here, curve it over there, straight point, back to our finish or start there. So you can see that one is a little bit thin for that line, so all we're going to do is I'm just going to select it, and I'm going to take that stroke up a little bit, so you can see it's made it thicker. Now because this one's slightly thicker, I'm going to where it says underlay over here, I'm going to just say edge walk, and you can see it's not kind of made it exactly what I wanted. So I'm just going to right click on the elements, just click on properties where it says underlay. Let's have a look, click on apply there. So select my percentage. It's based on 60%, and I'm going to take that line down to that 1.5 that we've got on the walk stitch down there. So you can see whoops, I'm just zoom in again. You can see around here it's now created this stitch automatically underneath it, and now that stitch is just going to keep the thread from sinking into the fabric, so that's great. The only thing it hasn't done is we haven't kept we wanted this to be red and didn't change to red, so I'm just going to click on the number 69, hold down shift 77, and I'm just going to click on the red so we can just get the difference between the red and the black. Yeah, so we've just made a different color. Just to create some space here, let's just close this one down here. Right, so zooming out a little bit, you can see we've got our elements over here, and we've got the light bulb over there. Right, so the next thing we'll do is let's do these little rays of light to the top here. So similar to what I did with that where we actually started, I'm just going to do a warp stitch from the top. I'm going to come down, okay, then I'm going to get our custom column width, create our little tapered effect over here, go up, tapered effect. Okay, there we go. So that's our first little bit there. Now what we can do, if you want, you can just copy these out. So I'm just going to copy that, paste it underneath it, take it over here, right click, bring up my rotate tool, okay, and I'm just going to set that in the bottom over there, and then I'm just going to rotate it about there, bring that in. So that's that one. Copy that one, paste it here, so it's going afterwards. Okay. Right click, get my rotate function up, just rotate that around so we get the same sort of angle. And I'm just going to drag it in there, rotate it a little bit more. Just select it again, rotate it again. Yep. Okay, so that's that there. Okay, so we've got our 3 that side, and we just need the 2 the other side. So I'm going to select this one. Now, important, make sure you click after your last element and then paste it in, otherwise it's going to insert funny and your embroidery is going to jump from one area to another. So let's just rotate that one. Bring that in there. Okay, just a little bit back. I'm going to copy that one, select 85, paste it in after 85. Let's bring that down to there, rotate this guy. Okay, bring him in. And there we go, there's our little sunbeams coming off there, or light rays coming off there. Okay, so let's save this file before we lose it, and let's put this bag embroidery. Okay, right. So next thing to work on, I would think, is let's do the squeegee at the bottom. Okay, so let's get our walk stitch up. I'm going to start, let's do a run stitch in from here, go to there, get our column width 1.2. I'm not sure if this is going to be too thick or not. That's fine, we'll leave it at 1.2, which is perfect, just a little bit wider than what we need, but that's a cool. And I'm going to just do a quick walk stitch down here, get my set column width in, bring it to there. I'm going to walk my stitch around to this guy here, column width in there. We'll take it, I can see what's going to happen here. We're going to take it to there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a walk stitch up around that little section, up here, walk it in, and stop over there. Now I'm going to get my set column width, and I'm going to start coming back on myself. Okay, so you can see I'm curving a little bit around there, straight to here. I'm going to stop it there, and then I'm going to start again here, and come there. Okay, I'm just going to drop that down there ever so slightly. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Okay, now it's ended over here, and I want this to end right there, so we can just go vertically down and drop this section over there. The thing you want to try achieve is the least amount of trims. Okay, so you can see how I've basically gone and I've tried to guide it through a pattern where we've got the least amount of trims. Okay, so starting here, let's carry on with our stitch lines. So I've selected my column width tool, and I'm just following it all the way around. Follow, follow, follow. Go down, dent it in there a little bit. Just go back that up a little bit. Curve it right here. There, curve, and then that's the end point there. Now obviously this is going to be way too thin, so I'm going to select our line there, and let's bring that all the way right up. Okay, so you can see it's created the width that we actually want, which is 1.9. I'm just going to knock it up to 2. It just makes it easier. Now being 2, I'm going to select our properties of that element, and I'm going to give it a edge walk. I'm going to click on my percent, click on apply, and you can see now there's my edge walk there. The only thing I didn't do there was just set the actual stitch length. So let's just bring that stitch length down to about 1.4 so we get a nice curve. Okay, so zooming out, you can see we've got the light bulb, the squeegee happening. Just click on save, just click on the 3D, and you can see it's all starting to come together there. Okay, so next thing, let's hit these lightning bolts. We'll start off with, let's start off with this top one here. Okay, let's do a run, just run that into there. Let's turn off the 3D. Zoom in over here. Select that point there, and let's go there. We'll curve it straight there, curve it, just straight, 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 curve, straight. Get that curved right nicely there. I think this point here, I want to see how this comes out. I'm not too sure if that's going to work there. Curve, straight, and then to our starting point there. Okay, that's cool. And now we're just going to make that line a little bit thicker. 1.5 is cool. Okay, so zooming out, so you can see it's following that there. So now we just need to create a center walk as our to make sure the stitch stays above the fabric. Okay, so that's that little one there. So this one I think was the same angle. Was that the same angle as the one? I can't actually remember. So I'm just going to select that. I'm going to copy that, paste it here. I think it was same as this one here. So I'm going to click down there. Let's rotate that round. Okay. So that's our next little lightning bolt right there. Okay. And then what we can do, I'm not sure if Wilcom has a flip function. This version of DesignShop doesn't, so I can't just flip that graphic over. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it over here. Okay, I'm just going to set it right there, funny enough, and I'm going to get this edge here and drag it across so it creates that exact same width. Okay, now I'm going to copy that graphic, paste it. I'm going to bring, now this one's going to be, oh yeah, we're going to have to rotate this one first. Well, just rotate it, isn't it? We don't have to flip this one around. So rotate that one around and just get it into place. Right, there we go. Okay, cool. So now we've got a lightning bolts or little elements there. Let's just save this. Okay, let's do this ESTD and 2004 quick. Right, so starting from the center working out, start with the D, end with the E. Okay, so do my little run in. Okay, and I'm going to get this column, set column width tool. Going to go about there, curve a little bit, come slightly out, a little bit of a curve there, in, curve there, there we go there, and finish it there. Okay, let's just make that a little bit thicker. So I'm going to just make sure it's selected, make it a little bit thicker. Now you can see it's creating like a bit of a bow here, and that's not what we want. So I'm just going to click on my little circle one there, my curve tool. I'm just going to bring those nodes in a little bit so it doesn't go out too far. Just make note of this is 1.8 we're setting it at. Okay, so then we're going to do our next little I'm going to start my run in from the top, go down. Okay, let's just set this on 1.8 because we're going to be using 1.8 from now on. Then I'm going to select over there, do a little bit of run up. Okay, do a run stitch from here to here, or walk stitch from there to there, and let's go from here across to there. Okay, cool. Okay, then I'm just going to drop that down slightly so it doesn't overshoot the D. Okay, and then from here, now this S is going to be quite tight on these little corners over here. I'm going to start here. I'm going to do a curve, flat, flat, curve. Okay, curve it. I have to curve it here, flatten out there, straight there, curve. I'm going to stop a little bit short. Okay, so you can see these, what you just got to watch out for is these high impact areas over here. I'm not really going to go through that on this tutorial. Just going to try and separate them out a little bit so we can just listen. This is something you will need to play with. Okay, so I'm going to take my endpoint from here, put it over here. Now, always on ease, I like to start in the center point up there. So I'm just going to do a walk stitch, going to walk my way around, get to that E point there, and come out from there. Now that E is slightly smaller in the middle, so I'm just going to take my column width down a little bit. I'm going to walk my way up to here. Let's set column width tool again, and just come around here. That should be fine. Okay, let's just bring those back a little bit. So hold Control, select both of those, and bring that one a little bit back. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. Right, let's zoom out. There's a big jump over here which we don't want, so I'm going to select my D and I'm going to hit the trim command, so we take that away, so just neaten up our embroidery. Okay, so that's that side, and we are going to go to this side over here. Okay, so we start with our 2, in with our 4, because we're going inside, out, center, outwards. So let's just run. We'll run in from, we'll do a whole underlay underneath this 2. So we're going to run around. Let's make a straight point there. Straight, curve it, and go there. Okay. Now we're going to start here, get our column width tool and run that there. So should just, I'll stop that there. I'm going to try to curve that, and make that straight, and we'll end right there. Okay, cool. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to, we'll leave that there for now. Okay, and we're going to end there. I'm going to get my walk stitch up. Start from here. Get my column width. Go across, around. Oh, okay, let's just get that out so we can get a bit of a curve. Okay, cool. Now, because we've got two of these zeros, I'm just going to copy them, the same as what we've done previously. That's a lot of repetition. And then we're going to do that there. Okay, let's just undo that. Up here, undo, drop it down. So you can see our end stitches over there. I am going to do a walk in from here, right from here. Okay. Let's get my set column width. Then go up. Ooh, wrong one. Right, let's get that one there. Okay, and come up here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, it's quite a tight corner, that one. So I'm actually going to go back on this one. I'm going to edge here. We're going to use our custom column width method. So I'm going to start top, bottom, top. I'm going to curve that around top, bottom. Just going to accentuate that corner there a little bit. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's a bit better. We haven't got so much of a tight area there. And I'm going to carry on going from there to there. Let's just go down to here, down to there. Okay. And I'm going to make my end point right there so that we can finish off that little cap on the end. Okay, so we just turn on our 3D view, you can kind of see what's happening there. So, put there. Okay, cool. Right, I'll just leave it as it is. Right. So zooming out, we create an ESTD 2004 all coming together. The only thing is those little lightning bolts there, those should be red. So let's just select all of them. Where are they? So that's all our ones up here. So we've got a walk-in stitch, all the way to our last lightning bolt, and let's just make them this red color up here so we can separate them so they sew out in the right sequence. Okay, save the file. So it's all coming together now. Let's do the creative shop first. Okay, so now let's start from that center point, otherwise we're going to get a crossover. So we'll do the tiv part first. Do a walk stitch down from right down the center of the T. Okay, and let's also make this red, and I'm going to just go straight back up. Okay, make it a little bit wider. Okay, do a walk stitch back this way. Come back here. That's it. A little bit of underlay underneath this guy. Go back up. Make that a little bit wider because we can. Let's just straighten it up a little bit. Okay, so now with this V, I'm going to start to run a stitch up here. I just want to give it a little bit of an underlay. I'm going to go work my way from here to here. Hit enter. Okay, that's my starting point. That's my end point. I want my end point to start where my starting point is. So basically, it's going to run a stitch, go down here, across, up, and then all the way back to where it started. I'm now going to select my custom input method, and I'm going to go from here to here, here to here. Okay, then I'm going to go through there, yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm going to start over here. I'm going to go across to here, just like so. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to change that endpoint to up there, and I'm going to carry on doing it from here to here to here, just so that we get a nice area over there where it actually sews in and it doesn't look like there's too much crossover. Okay, so I'm just go up from my E. Let's do a run and stitch from there to there. Bring that in there. Okay. Walk it down. Column width tool there. And finish off the E like that. Okay. Zoom out a bit. Okay, now we just got to do shop. Okay, so onto the shop bit over here. I'll just zoom in a little bit there. What we'll do is make sure we do trim command at the end of there. Let's start off over here. So for the straight point, I'm taking it a little bit wider on this one because I know it's going to get quite tight. Just going to make that straight there. There, curve it, straight, curve and straight. Okay, that one's cool. Okay. And we just do a little jump across from there to there. Get the H. Go down to there. Make this a little bit thicker. And just drag in a little bit. Take my end point, plop it over there. A little horizontal line across. Run my stitch down. Go back up there, and then let's just make sure we get the same column width as that side there. So 2 mils that side. Oop, 2 mils that side. Okay. Now let's just go to the O and the P. Okay, so what we're going to do is just do a little run in. I'm going to create that O. So I'll start here. Just a little curve, straight point, curve, straight point, curve, straight point into that straight point there. I could instantly see when I put that one down there I was going a little bit too far in, so let's just take that out a little bit. Take that up to 2 as well. 2. Let's just take that up to 2. I'm just selecting all these little elements here, and I'm just making sure they're all more or less the same width, except for those little elements in here and the top of that. Those are just naturally smaller. Okay, so let's do the P. Get that run stitch, run down. Go there. And there we go, there's the P. And then we'll just make sure, let's take that up to 2. And let's just make sure those lines come up together. Cool, okay. Right, so now we're going to do the other side of this. So take this A here. I am going to, let's just run a stitch from here to here, run a stitch back. Okay, and then we'll do our similar to what we did with that V. I'm going to make a custom column width, so I'm going to take it from there to there. We can take it from this point here, yeah, that's it, and then we'll go there, finish off there. So basically, I mean, all in all, what I'm basically doing is just almost retracing the entire design. What we will have to do afterwards is we'll have to go select some of these elements and put down, similar to what we did with these elements up here, is just put in like underlay threads. So select the ones that we need that need underlays, just to make sure that they stay above the fabric. So you see the A didn't have one there, that one didn't have, like all these little bits here, they haven't got any underlays. So my advice would be to put underlays, but this is something you're going to have to experiment with on your side. I'm just going to put my little center walks and take them down to about 1.4 underneath them, just to make sure they stay above the fabric. Okay, so let's carry on. Let's do the E, the R, the C. Do a little run in from there to there. Let's just delete that. I just want to get more central. Okay, and then let's just you'll run this down. Okay. Here's here, up there. Let's just take that back ever so slightly. And then make it 2. Okay. And then over here, we're going to let's run it this way. R is always a bit of a funky one as well. So we're going to run that running stitch to there, walk stitch, come up, curve it into here. Okay. What we can do, we can just run it from here, let's go down to here, come up again. Let's just take that a little bit back there, curve it straight, do a curve. See how this works. Yeah, that works. Okay, just make that 2 again. And just take this one up to 2. Just going to straighten it off slightly. Tuck that underneath there. Okay, cool. Just zoom out. Whoop. Not that far out. Go back in. Just going to do the C. So we'll do our little run in. Okay. And digitize around here. Go straight. Curve it, curve it, curve it. Straight. And stop short over there. Okay, so the reason why I stop short sometimes over here is because you get like a push with the thread and it naturally pushes the thread up, and you obviously don't want them to join, so that's why I stop short over there. Right, so do run a stitch to the middle of the E, do that column width over here, set column width into there, and let's just run that stitch around to here. Yeah, get the set column width going here to there, bring it in, and just take that up to 2. Okay, now we just got the H and the T to go. So let's just, I'm going to run it in from here, I'm going to drop down, let's just get that straighter. And from there, drop down. Okay. I'm going to bring that back around here. Bring that middle column straight across. Let's run the stitch down and bring that column from the bottom to the top over there. Okay, and let's just thicken up that line over on 2. It's on 2.1. Let's take it down to 2. Right, okay. And then from here, I'm just going to move my endpoint across to here. Let's run it there all the way down. Let's just run this. This way. I have to run it this way. So you always don't want to push it into one another and create like a bubble on when we're doing embroidery. Just take that up to 2. Okay, cool. So the last little bit to do is this, my t-shirt printer's bit at the top over here. I'm just going to do this. I am going to do this bit on like a bit of a fast forward, because otherwise we're going to be here all day, and then we'll do the last circle and the last little bit. Okay, so we're on to our last little bit here, which is the circle on the outside. Now, generally speaking, when you're creating any shape, you want the least amount of points. Just creates a better curve. So I'm going to select our single line input, which is the set line size. We'll start at the bottom and work our way around. So I'm going to select first point here. I'm going to take a circular point here, circular point here, circular point here, circular point here, and then where we finish off right there. And just with those 4 points we can create a circle. Now obviously that circle we want to be thicker, so I'm just going to make it, let's just make it, take up to like 2.5. Click on the properties of this one, go on the underlay, and because now it's quite a wide line, we want a edge walk. So I'm going to take that down to 1.6 and just click on apply, and now you can see we have, if I just zoom in, we'll have that edge walk running around on the side here. Yeah, so let's zoom out on that. Now going into a little bit further, the design as you see it at the moment is not completely ready. What we'll have to do is just go and like all these little points here, obviously you don't want all these little tie-ins, tie-offs all over the place, so you're going to have to go in and set these properties here. So I just go tie in, so obviously I want to tie in there, but I don't want to tie off. So on this instance here, following around all the way through to this last little end bit here, that's where it's going to finish off. So I don't want to tie in and I don't want to tie off, so I'm just going to click all of those off, but I do want to tie off on the last bit of that M. So I'm just going to go around and tweak all of those so it all just flows nicely. We haven't got unnecessary stitches. We're going to get a cleaner embroidery. Just to make sure, let's just separate these colors out here. We've got a bit lost on these ones, so this text up here, so from here, where is it, yeah, from that M, I'm just going all the way, oh, we have to go all the way back here. Where is that? That's the creative shop. All the way back down here. Where is it? Okay, so from our walk and stitch over here, all this, just make sure, yeah, from here, all that's got to be, basically that's all going to be white. So I'm just going to change that to black so we can see it. Okay, cool. Okay, right, so if we just hide our graphic, so we can hide our graphic either by just not showing it over here, or we can click this little button over here which hides the graphic behind it. Click on our 3D view and you can kind of get an idea of what the stitches will look like there as a basic form. Let's just save our file. Let's get up the correct colors that we want in here. So this color here, we want this to be white. So I know white is 1801. Okay. Just get that, just click all that, make that all white, make this all white, shut that down, make this all white. Okay, change all the reds, we've just changed this yellow over here, change that to the yellow, and the last little bit is up here, change that to the yellow. So you can see our design has really come together. So it's just up to you to go do your tie-ins and tie-offs, experiment with them. Tomorrow we put it on this guy, we sew it out, do the test sew out, make sure it sews out correctly, and then we sew it on the bag with our Foss clamp system. See you tomorrow. Thanks for watching today. If you did enjoy this video, hit the like button and I'll catch you tomorrow. I'm out of here.